All right, hello, I'm Taz from Axiom IT, and today I've invited Nicole from Exhibitions and Events Australia for a chat about modern workplace. Nicole, you're the Marketing Director at EEA, the premier consumer exhibition organiser in Australia. You organise 14 massive events per year all over the country, including the home shows and the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, which I'm sure we're all familiar with, if not have attended at some point. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, happy to be here.
So Nicole, you've been working with Axiom IT for maybe a year or two now, and when we first started to work together, the team at EEA was already operating at a really high level. So for those listening, what led you to look for a new IT partner?
As a business, we are constantly looking to adapt and improve and increase our efficiency. We knew that our technology solutions could be improved, and we were looking for a partner that could help us collaborate internally and be more productive, but ultimately to provide a better service for our customers. It was a really collaborative experience, and I never felt like we were getting an off-the-shelf package.
It would be great if you could explain to these people what the biggest benefit of the transition for modern workplace at EEA has been like and what the biggest benefit there is.
The first is that we collaborate internally between offices in Melbourne, Brisbane, and Auckland. So just being able to have video meetings with people in all those different places is really great. We also coordinate, market, and execute 14 large-scale consumer exhibitions a year. So staff are working on site for up to 7 days and lead up to each event. That requires staff to travel and set up remote offices on site and then dismantle them in a few days. Moving to a modern workplace has meant that we have quick and easy access to important documents that we always need on site, like operational health and safety forms, exhibitor contracts, sponsor agreements, without having to email ourselves files, use USB drives, or connect to slow VPN. Teams has completely transformed the way that I work. I've reclaimed so many hours in my week because I am no longer scrolling through hundreds of emails every day. I could never go back to sending around versions of proposals back and forth to different groups. Collaborating on documents has been an absolute game changer for us. Many of our contracts and projects are interdepartmental initiatives, and so we need to be communicating with each other. So being able to collaborate in real time on documents is really helpful. Teams has really become the place to share ideas with each other, pass along information, and even maintain human connections within the business.
It would be great if you could talk about what part of the transition was most difficult for EEA and maybe how you dealt with that and overcame it.
I feel like any type of organizational change is difficult, no matter what it is. There's always going to be a little bit of hesitance. It's hard work to make change. That doesn't mean it's not worth doing. We have people working in our business who've been doing things one way for a really long time. So putting in time to explain the benefits of the change from the beginning is really important. And it's also helpful to get input from all those different people so that we can have a solution in the end that works for everyone.
Is there anything that you've learnt going through that process that you wish you'd known before you started?
The one thing that I wish I'd known about the Microsoft 365 platform before we started was just how many productivity tools there are. When we first started, I found Teams to be instantly useful. It quickly became my work home. I am in Teams all the time, but I slowly discovered other programs like Planner and To-Do and OneNote, which really helped me with project management and collaboration.
We're in a bit of an interesting time at the moment where we're all living through a pandemic, and that's the COVID-19 pandemic, of course. And in Australia, we're lucky enough that we've come out the other side just about now. But it would be interesting to know for EEA what that experience was like going into the pandemic and how the technology was able to support you throughout.
Because of our transition onto Microsoft 365, we were able to transition into remote work quite easily and continue to effectively communicate with exhibitors and visitors and plan for future events. That would have been a much more stressful experience if we hadn't already transitioned onto Microsoft 365. I actually can't even imagine what that would have looked like.
Can you share with us some of the specific ways your teams is using the products to drive the business forward and push forward some of the efficiency gains?
I have two that immediately come to mind, so I'll share them both. The first one is that we've started transitioning our event marketing timelines onto Teams so that they're shared files. We work to very strict timelines to ensure that our events are successful and everything gets done on time. And having them on a shared program allows the entire team to be across what everyone needs to accomplish, but also provide easy oversight so I know how things are tracking and not just me. So that means that I can share the document with other directors or the executive team if I need to provide an overview, making quick work of an update that used to require hours of pulling together information. And another goal that we have is to create client SharePoint sites so that we can easily collaborate with external sponsors and partners. And this would create a more seamless partnership and would offer many efficiencies like working on agreements together in real time, providing approved marketing collateral all in one place.
For anyone out there who's considering the transition to modern workplace, is there any advice that you would give them?
My advice would be to get some champions on board who have power within the organization to make change. In the beginning, with any type of change, people will be tempted to revert back to their old systems and processes. It's just the way we are. And it's really important to have multiple champions within the organization to ensure that employees at all levels are using the tools in the best way possible. These champions need to take on the roles of troubleshooter, cheerleader, innovator, trainer. They do a lot of things, and they need to be able to help employees see how these tools can save them time and make them more productive. But overall, the advice would be to not wait another moment to make the move.